Hello. Looks like there's no audio. I was sitting there trying. Hopefully you can hear me now. I was hoping to pipe through some of the music I owned. Some of the music we've licensed. Can everyone let me know if you can hear me just fine? So I'm going to have to do a little bit more tweaking, but good enough. So, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever the fuck you are and whatever the fuck you're doing. This is Mr. Tex of the Black Pants Legion coming to you live. I have not streamed solo in many, many years. And truth was, I got a little bit overwhelmed. In ages past, especially in the COVID years, it was not uncommon for me to pull many multiples of people, and it got to be a bit too much. I found that I was talking at people rather than talking with people, if that makes any sense, and it just made me uncomfortable. So what we're going to do today is we're going to play some DORF ORTRESS, and I'm just going to try to get back into the swing of things, if that makes sense, just to figure out where the fuck I am, what the fuck I'm doing. And, well, actually, DORF ORTRESS, the answer is I don't know, and you're about to find out. So here we go. So pardon if I'm a little shaky on stream setups. Haven't done this solo in a long time. Missing Depp. Depp used to be my #1 co-host here. So let's go ahead and get into the game. And, yay! Looks like everything's going fine so far. All those little buttons that I pre-programmed are working. Aside from the intro music and all that, can you guys hear the wonderful soundtrack? I want to make sure you can. Ooh. No game audio. Fantastic. Just voice. Wonderful. Wonderful. Excellent. Excellent. Well, I suppose that we're going to have to do some tuning for next time. And you're just going to have to make up your own music as we go along. Because that should have worked. But, yeah. Yeah, make your own music. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. So, as we start this thing off, I just want to say I'm glad to be back. Pardon for the technical difficulties. But give me a sec and let me play with game capture versus window capture and see if that works a little better. All right, just stand by, stand by, stand by. Here, I have a standby screen. Here we go. See, I should let you know what's going on. Oh boy. All right. So hopefully that'll work out just fine. Technical issues. All right, let's try game capture. And yeah. Okay. Can you capture DORF ORTRESS game? No? No, you can. All right. Well, window capture it is. All right, fuck it. We do it live. I get the soundtrack. I'll hum it for you. All right, so, fine enough. Let's go into mods. Audible alerts, I'll need that. Magma Giraffe, a BPL mod, we'll need that. See-through smoothing, Stone beds, yes. Here we go. Let's create a world. Let's create a world and go from there. One of the first things I do is I make sure that, as always, with a new computer, whenever I have a new computer, on those rare occasions, the first thing I do is see how quickly it can make a DORF ORTRESS world. And no, OBS is not muted. Everything is fine and looks fine, should be fine. And I've not touched adventure mode in some time. In fact, I'm looking at the mixer right now, and it's showing that it's picking up the desktop audio. You know what? I have an idea. One moment, as it just finished the world. Let's get into this, and let me add one more thing. Let's see if I can't grab it to capture one more thing. No, should be fine. It should be all right. Huh. Let's see if that works, because it's showing it as an active window. Oh, man. All right, back to the game. Okay, guys. Let's try this. The realm of wind. Splendid. Okie dokie. Just a little bit of DORF ORTRESS. What's the worst that could happen? Nervous. All right, let's go into Fortress mode and... You know, hold on. I'm going to touch this desktop audio setting real quick. Let's see, properties. It should be fine. Damnation. Well, I'll leave it be for now. We'll play with that later. Skip that tutorial. No, I don't need a tutorial. Okie doke. So, I remember the first time I played the Steam version, I felt absolutely spoiled because I can use the mouse instead of everything else. And sometimes I'll still do the hotkey commands and I will fail miserably. And I do mean miserably. All right, let's see. Goblins are nearby. I'm looking for something that has a nice mix of things that could... Ooh, elves. No, I don't think so. The delightful continent. The desert of conjuring. The high dune. You know, rocky wasteland. You know, yeah, fuck elves. I'm just looking around. Ooh, the desert of rooters. That's interesting. The wealthy dude. Well, that sounds a bit self-diagnosed. We'll see. The Douse Dunes. All right, let's get down in here. Little soil. Oh, see, there's deep soil. The Plain of Tips. Yeah, let's go with a little bit of... Ooh, Untamed Wilds. Untamed Wilds. Oh, no. You know what? I'm going to get this little brook here. Okay. You have selected an area with a light aquifer. Water may need to be pumped out or carried away. You have selected a savage area. Wildlife might be very dangerous. Fine. So, I have some settings here. I have some settings, and they're interesting, to say the least. I go with 4 minors, usually. Let's see. Fortress name? Fortress Constructs. No. Let's see. Boldtress. Yes. We are a very bold fortress. We are not in danger. You don't know that. Let's go ahead and do the name of circle. Don't you mean circle? No. Oh, we need a image to define this. This is kind of interesting. You need to create kind of a interesting little art thing for your people. So let me show you what I normally do, right? So there's an elf, right? So we put an elf in there. It is an image of an elf, right? And then I do a dwarf, right? Right? Image of an elf and a dwarf. And then we need an action, right? So, yes. The elf is burning. And then the, where's the laughing one? Yes. All right. The dwarf is laughing. There we go. Good. Excellent. Yep. There we go. All is good. Okay. So, let's see. 4 miners, 2 woodworkers, and then this guy does all the food. That guy is going to be really busy. Okie doke. You have arrived. After a journey from the mountain homes into the forbidding wilderness beyond, your harsh trek has finally ended. Your party of 7 is to make an outpost for the glory of all Ustenthab. There are almost no supplies left, but with stout labor comes sustenance. Whether by bolt, plow, or hook, provide for your dwarves. You are expecting a supply caravan just before winter entombs you, but it is spring now. Enough time to delve secure lodgings, ere the dingo men get hungry. A new chapter of dwarven history begins here at this place. Morax Stelmith, Boldtress. Strike the earth. So, we have begun. There's this stream. It's a brook. It's fine. Got some stuff that is sand. Okay, so let's begin with the basics. Into the sand we go. All right. Now, if you play Dwarf Fortress in the Legion, you will be invariably struck by Pablo, who shows up, who will tell you that what you're doing is inefficient. You just kind of accept this. It happens. And if you're in the Ox, you'll still see Pablo around. The way to see Pablo is to show up in Spaceman on one of the Spaceman nights, and you'll see this creature named Benson Abernathy come out of the woodwork. And good old Benson is there to make sure you die of hubris. But he's also really good at Dwarf Fortress. Okie dokie. So, we're going to mine in here. I've got other guys that aren't doing much, so I have to fix that right away. Okay, doing some of this, some of that. Gonna knock some trees down because they exist. Some of the animals are a little worried, but Okay. So we've got that mined out. And now that I've got some guys actually knocking out some of the things we need, I always mismeasure that by 1 square, the little trade depot. So we're going to put that in. But I've got some people knocking trees down for me to construct things with, which is useful. Okay, there we go. And if you've never played Dwarf Fortress before, don't worry. You're not watching an expert. You will not ever have to worry that I'm showing you something you can't do better. There are things that you can do so much better than me. And I'm certain I will run into lots of people who say that. But remember, when it comes down to Dwarf Fortress, very, very simple thing to say. If someone starts talking big and acts like they know what they're doing and have all these advanced capabilities in the game, just say the following phrase. Oh, show me your fortress. That usually shuts them up. Well, I haven't played in a while, or, excuses. No. Make them show you your steel, or their steel. One of those. All right, what do we got here? Aquifer already. Son of a bitch. Okay. We're going to have to do it anyways. Come on, guys. I'm going to try to deal with this aquifer. There are ways of dealing with an aquifer. What do we got? Peat? Okay. So peat is a bit of a bastard. You can't really smooth it. So we're going to have to knock the walls back just a little bit. And it's still an aquifer. So what we're going to do is we're going to get into construction here. And we're going to build walls. That's why we cut all those logs down. We're going to need to do that. That's going to be very, very, very important. Now, I'm not putting these final 2 bits here and here because Yeah. Yeah. It's, my guys will get trapped. They are stupid. So here they come. They're going to put the wall in. Water can't get through. Well, it can't. Let's not get into what might happen, because I don't want to say anything with any true finality. That's where you start to run into oops. All right, here we go. We're going to build our walls here. And we may have to do this for a few layers as we pass through the aquifer. That's fine. That's why there's time stop. I've watched people literally play Dwarf Fortress, watch their fort burn, and not realize they could hit pause. They were just staring in mute, abject horror, going, it's all ending. And I'm like, yeah, but you don't have to, you know. You can actually do things. So here we go. Okay. And we have hit, yep, another layer of that aquifer, but that is even better because guess what? We're in the rock layer now. And what that means is I can smooth these walls and I can put that aquifer to bed. But first, I'm going to knock out a little bit in each direction before I do that. See how wide the aquifer is. That is one of the things that a lot of people forget to do. They forget to check how wide aquifers are. They're not a whole Z level like they used to be. All right, boys. Okay, let's see. Hematite, that will get us some good stuff here. Be glad you can't hear the sound effects. It is constantly chirping at me, letting me know that, hey, those walls are wet. And I'm like, I know. Don't worry about it. So it looks like this is a fairly wide footprint. That's fine. I have another layer down. We're just going to go down through that layer, and it'll be fine. It'll be fine. Mostly. Asterisk. Maybe. So then we're going to smooth the walls. This makes the water stop. I'll just tell them to smooth everything. I know some people who refuse to play this game without Dwarf Therapist in the background. I may do that in the future because it is nice to custom tailor your jobs and give them very strict you can and can't do various things. You know, that's quite useful. But it's not necessarily going to be everything you need it to be. There are ways of doing this without Dwarf Therapist. I know some people who've got that level of like OCD where they're just like, nope, won't play without it. And that's fine, but it is playable without it. It's also fun to have some of these people start to lose their minds as they become obsessed with various evil, crazy things. All right, once they've knocked this out, as you can see, the aquifer is a bit lopsided here, which is fine. They're not exactly the whole Z level. And yes, I am back. Hi, it's me, Tex. Just trying to get back in the swing of things. I think for the longest time I was used to streaming with other people, which made it kind of fun for me. And then Deb got really busy, and part of me said the show has to go on. You can't just leave something hanging, you know? So, okay, this is getting a little muddy, but he'll figure it out. Slowly, we're going to make our way through these Z levels. We do have some rocks to begin working with, which is nice. I'm going to make sure that, well, they should all be doing that, except you. What are you doing? Fish? We're dwarves. Fuck. I think these guys would learn. All right. Sitting there trying to do stuff. These sons of bitches. All right. So this should be mostly sealed off. Mostly. Now, we'll see what I put together. I don't want anyone thinking that I have any grand designs for this fortress. It's remember what I was trying to learn how to do last time, which is not die. That was pretty much it. Yeah, okay. A little bit of water there, but it's not a lot. It's slowly misting down. You can see the little tiles fill up here and there as the water drains, which is quite nice. The dwarves like the mist. They're like, ooh, mist. It makes them forget about the bad times. All right, so this layer looks like it's mostly decent. So what I'm going to do is some geometric shapes here, because dwarves find those pleasing. Actually, I find those pleasing. I don't care what they think. And, yeah. All right, let's make sure no aquifer there. Okay. What we're going to do is going to make some simple rooms. And hopefully, these guys will enjoy them. There we go. Hopefully. And this is going to be some basic industry areas. Nothing too crazy, nothing too insane. Just enough to let them start doing some basics. Then I need to set up my farms, which I'm going to set up down here on the layer that actually has, sand. We're going to farm in sand. There we go. I don't care that that's symmetrical. Someone will, though. I can feel it. They're going to sit there and be like, Tex, did you know that symmetry is your friend? And I'm going to say, don't care. This is going to be for my general storage and farms. I build it over big because there's actually a lot of money in trading food. Not saying. It's rough and coarse and gets everywhere. But yeah, you can do a lot. And what I'm aiming to do is basically get this thing operational, kind of. But I also need to cut some trees down. There we go. Cutting that down, cutting those down. Fuck that. You know. I hear the animals screaming in the background, which actually makes me realize I need to check. Okay, they're still alive. Okay. Wild boar, that's not so dangerous. Always remember to turn this off or they will cook your plump helmets and then you won't have them for planting, which is not great. All right, we got a little bit of mud here. Should be fine. He's just sleeping on the job. No, he woke up. Good. Good. So this will be our stone worker. He's going to be turning stone into stone objects, various stone objects to include stone. Yeah, he's not going to like his life. I don't know. Dwarves like that sort of shit. They're like repetitive, painful chores? Yes, please. But now we have a stone workshop, which means we can start making bricks, which is quite nice. Oh, people rating with 9 viewers. Hot damn. And hello, everyone. Greetings and welcome to DORF ORTRESS. It's time for the Fortress of DORF. But yeah, so far, so good. It's still only late spring. it's not quite as good as I had on my start for the, well, we have a fun project being worked on. You guys may be familiar with this thing called Boat Murdered, right? And Boat Murdered is probably the most famous Dwarf Fortress story of all time. And hi, Night Owl. The Dwarf Fortress story of Boat Murdered is legendary. It's been covered and retold by many people who tried to flavor it up or shorten it or turn it into a narrative, but I think the text-based version is still the best one. And what we're doing in the BPL is some time ago, I believe it was late last year, we did a legacy game, and it's all written. And so what we're going to do is do a dwarf story time with it. We're going to have people read the story. We have a little bit of voice acting. We have some art. And yeah, it's pretty interesting. So in the BPL version of it, we're going to make a little video of it. But even better, we decided to go a little extra, little over the top. And so what we did is we... well, us being us, we're cutting a Dwarven album in Dwarven, and it's interesting. We wanted to add to the story a bit. And so far, Goat and the gang are on it. I've heard some of the tracks. They're really, really good, and I think you guys will enjoy that, and we'll release that free to you guys when we got it done. So far, so good. So far, so good, asterisk. But yeah, we are building our little fort here. We're going to get our basic working areas, and then I'm going to try to start getting these guys into fucking apartments, which is not going to be easy because they're dwarves, and they're going to make it difficult, and this fortress is made out of sand, so a strong wind could render it indefensible. And yeah, but so far so good. We've got a lot of fun projects coming along. Hope you guys like the vehicle guide, by the way. I had some people reach out about that, and there were some people that were concerned. They were like, Tex, are you just doing short content now? It's like, no. I had a lot of people who wanted a lot more on vehicles. Vehicles don't have as much lore. They don't have as much to say. They're not as iconic, but they're still part of the universe. And I thought that they really needed something to say. And a friend of mine had said that he really wanted me to cover vehicles. And I said that I would think about it. And then I realized if I don't, who will? Who's going to go there and get a little crazy, you know what I mean? So, the vehicle guide. And yeah, there's usually not much in terms of anecdotes or material for them. And it's one of those things where I thought, you know, there could be. So why not just keep adding to the story and come up with a little bit of real world to go in between the lines, as it were. Have some fun. And so far, so good. YouTube didn't like it so much, but YouTube's been on kind of a bender lately. I'm not sure if you guys have noticed, but a lot of older channels are hanging it up. Doom Made of Cardboard hung it up, sad to say. He just had too much. And it was for years and years and years. He tried to get his, Doom thing seen. And he was like, yeah, this is an age of AI. I give up. And he gave his farewell. And it was sad to me. So I figure that if you want to do things the right way, pay people decent, make fun things you enjoy, you got to work extra hard. And so I think that that's kind of what we wanted to do. And I'm glad that you guys have largely enjoyed it. Did have some interesting feedback from some folks about format, but all in all, pretty good. That being said, we have our hands full right now, the studio, because we are working on the Traveler documentary. We have some very exciting news about that as well. All right, so this is going to be our jeweler's workshop. I'm going to tell him to start cutting gems. I'm going to tell you to start making some beds. And then I'm going to tell him to smooth this shit out. That's going to be probably the carpenter. And then probably Crafts Dwarf's workshop over here. And I'm just going to keep this shit simple. Simple, 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 simple. And I got, it's, it's like this. In terms of support, Mark Miller's in the documentary. So can't get much more support than that. And as I said on the Patreon, even more exciting news is Mongoose is 100% on board and wants to support. So I think that's pretty nice. And any thoughts on the Battletech cartoon being released on the Sarna Wiki YouTube channel? Oh, good. I saw the cartoon when it was still live, when it was still new. And even then, I knew it was not really that good. And I'm not trying to shit on it. I'm just saying that I could tell that they were under a lot of stress to make something very quickly and with not a lot of resources, and it never got far. I'm glad it's out there, but it's not something I hold sacred, if that makes sense. I'm not like... I'm not a huge devotee of it. I just kind of like, yeah, okay, it's a thing. I know some people love it, but most of the people I know who say they love it don't really love it. They love the memes of it. And it's really good for memes, you know. They attacked my home planet. I'm going to go ahead and put as what I like to call the bad people room. This is where we put corpses and refuse. It all just goes in there. Just chuck it in there, no big deal. And then I'm going to start getting into farming because it's already summer. And I know that we're going to need to get into farming or we will be dead. So what we're going to do is going to make sure that he is doing the farming stuff and that only. And we'll go from there. And let's see where we are with the... Okay, we are cutting gems. We're making rocks. And I agree. Night Owl, you are absolutely astute there. It has value as an artifact of the franchise at that time. And I think that is very, very accurate. Because at that point, people were just trying anything. It's where a lot of games and game settings were just like, well, how do we reach people? So you had a D&D cartoon, which is pretty wild. I've seen that, and I'm like, wow. But, I mean, it was an era of trying new things. And that's just kind of media in general. Every so often, you have to try something new. And again, I'm not trying to throw trash or hate upon the Battletech cartoon or anything. I just kind of look at it with a, it's not aged very well. It's definitely a product of its time. And I also think that it would be unfair, very unfair for me to say that it was as good as they could make it. I think that those guys probably had both hands tied behind their back with not a lot of money. And I'm pretty sure they was like, hey, make this happen. So it is what it is in that. And oh yeah, the early CGI, I mean, God, everyone was trying to use that stuff back then. And it's difficult. It's damn difficult to use something new. But it did have toys. You are absolutely correct. And the toys were actually pretty good. I had the Mauler, and I liked it. I remember I remember the toys were probably the best part, but then again, I was much younger, right? So when you're young, everything is the best part. And it did stoke a sense of interest when I was young. It really did. So it did kind of capture that. But I remember that my friends and I all watched it, and we were all playing the tabletop at that point. And we were trying to figure out where they were going with the story or all these other things, as, you know, young nerds do. And then they were like, yeah, it's not ever coming back. And we were like, oh. So we just retreated back into tabletop, as you do. So we're going to have some differences between Z levels, but probably not appreciable differences. Fun fact, the dwarves move fastest. Truly the fastest, at like 20 tiles in any direction. So there is a kind of a smart idea of doing a hive, where each layer of the fortress is no more than 20 tiles from the stairwell. I learned that a few years ago after playing this game for a long time. There's always something new to learn in DORF Fortress. All right, this is where corpses go. What else? And refuse. All the garbage goes in there. In what I call the stink room. But yes, so far so good. We have a guy making stuff. This should be fine. This will be the carpentry area. We're mining. The next layer down is going to be the DORF apartments. The stink room, where you put the stink. And I would say this, if you're building a fortress, do the hive mentality. No more than 20 tiles. And remember, a vertical Z level is still a tile. So if you can put all your fortress in this kind of stacked vertical thing, or stairs in the corners, which is quite nice, you can make a nice big square, or a geometric shape as you please, and then have stairs in all the corners. It's quite nice. Well, the compost area. Let's call it that, okay? It should be fine. All right, so we got plenty of beds, looks like. I'm not sure what I'm going to have for sales goods. This is not draining at all. Did I smooth every bit of this? I did. I think it may be dripping from the roof overhead. But that's fine. I'll fix it at some point, maybe. We'll see. I've got some cut gems, though. They're semi-precious. They're not going to be great, mind you. It's not like we're finding diamonds. Though one time in a fort, there was many years ago in DORF Fortress, it was 38 or 40D, I had a problem, and the problem was kind of fun. This whole fort in multiple Z levels was just sand. It was sand on top of sand on top of sand. It was like 30 Z levels of sand. And I was like, this is bullshit. But my miners were busting through so many tiles of rock and stuff like that they got really good at mining. So they were going through it like shit through a goose. They were just speeding along, mining at light speed. And then on the edge of this Z level, where I was cutting spider tunnels, like spider webs everywhere, trying to find gems, I found this enormous vein of gold. This enormous vein of gold. And I was like, ooh, gold, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah, the gold, you know. And so I started to get, oh my God, we have migrants and I didn't notice. Fuck, you distracted me. Anyways, I found, oh, it's more woodcutters? Well, all right. That's interesting. But yeah, so I had all this gold, and I was like, well, fuck yeah. So, you know, I gave my dwarves like golden armor and golden weapons, and I know gold sucks for that, but I didn't care. I didn't care. I had like 50 tons of gold coins, everything. Started making like masterwork golden statues. So a fortress would send its trading caravan, and I would trade everything they had for one thing. One thing. Just plop, took it. And I laughed. I was like, hell yeah. Yeah, this is some good shit. And so I traded so much in Dwarf Fortress that I learned why you don't do that. See, all of that big trades made people look at my fortress and cast their eyes upon its riches with envy, right? They desired my gold. They desired my riches. And that became a problem. It became a catastrophic problem, in fact. So the more gold I had, the more people would show up. The more people I had to kick their ass, melt their stuff down into better weapons and stuff, which made me richer, which made me have to fight more people. And it just kept going and going and going until eventually a dragon showed up, and with about 4 sneezes of fire, annihilated me completely. Good times. But that's Dwarf Fortress. I mean, it's a lot less randy random than stuff like RimWorld, where in RimWorld, you'll be sitting there playing the game, and then it's like, oh, game's got to pause a second. I'm going to roll on some D100 charts. And it's like the laziest DM in the world. It's like, oh, you've been attacked by 96 corgis. You're like, what? Why? Then they run into your minefield or whatever you make, and, you know, you deal with it that way. And it is what it is. I mean, man, I'm really worried. So far, things are fine. And I'm, Oh, yeah. All right. So that's an aquifer. Another layer to that son of a bitch. All right. I may have fucked up. Some of that's actually deep. Oh, and that's already full. All of them are full. Oh no, it's many layers of aquifer. Wow. Panic. Come on, dwarves, get down there. Seal it up. Hey, I won't run out of water. That's fine. Well, at least the upper layers are slowly draining. I love aquifers. I do not. All right, let's see if we can't stem the tide here. I'm a little rusty, to say the least. Go 3 levels underwater and smooth the aquifer. Yes, boys, you got this. Start breathing. Look, they needed a bath anyways, right? Don't worry about it. I have an idea. It's not a smart idea, but we'll get there. Yeah, it might be time to start building some stone hatches. Be like, well, that's the pond. All right. You bastards. Well, good times, dwarves. What are the rest of you doing? Here, let's, oh my God, that thing's made out of fungi wood. It's made out of enormous fungus. You know that thing smells good. Yeah, okay, let's figure out how we would sell this. It's an indoor pool. Open floor plan. No need for a humidifier. Lots of room for activities. Yeah, that's not going to get fixed. All right. Oh, wait. Did he come down to grab that rock? At least I have an indoor pool here. And maybe a fishing area. But don't worry. That's why you can alternate how you build a fortress. Yeah, it'll be fine. Maybe. Let's just go ahead and remove these. And don't worry about that anymore. I think I may have accidentally just cut the stairs up out. Oh no. Yeah, I did. I'm an idiot, but don't worry. I will show you how you can really mangle a fortress. All right, so here we go. And down. Actually, there and up. Good. So the thing about Dwarf Fortress is you will want to restart frequently. And you don't need to. You can just let this guy die. It happens. Oh, look at him. He's like, why? Come on. I may have forgotten the command. This is where we die embarrassingly. Well, I do like the ability as well to go back through your failures and see them again as an adventurer, because adventure mode is like fucking hilarious. You can really get some Mines of Moria shit going on. You're like, ooh, I did dig a little greedily, a little deep, you know? Just a little. And that's fine. It adds character to the fortress. People be like, why is that basement got a corpse in it? You're like, oh, you mean the pool? And people are like, what have you done? And I'm like, I don't know. What have you done? All right, let's see. You know what? This is going to be dirty, but we'll make it happen. Yeah, it's not a pool. It's an oubliette, you know, the forget box. It'll be all right. Look, if I'm going to make a janky fort on stream, I can't suddenly get nervous about things. I got to have some fun. And I did tell you I have no idea what I'm doing. It's kind of core to this whole thing. Oh, look. He's not trapped anymore. See? Fine. Now that down there, though, that's really filling up. So, let's go over here. Uh-oh. What was it? Saving game. Please. Please not anything terrible. Saving announcements. I'm going to make some hatch covers and just pave over my mistake here, all right? Don't worry about it. It's not a big deal. Except for that guy is still hanging out down here. Oh, all right. He was like, am I really free? And I'm like, you're there-ish, you know? Freedom's a construct, buddy. All right, so let's learn what we need to do better, which is not what I'm doing. Doors and hatches. Hatch. He hasn't made the hatch cover yet. Damn you, you lazy bastard. Well, I mean, that's... actually, you know. I wish Krug Smash would do more Caves of Cud. Not sure if you guys probably have watched Krug Smash. He's the best dwarf guy. His Caves of Cud shit had me laughing my ass off. And I find that people who can elicit that kind of storytelling regularly out of the game, really good people. Okay, we are out of booze. No one told me. Thank you guys for not backseat gaming. I'm sure some of you sat on your hands to not scream it at me. Excellent. We created a masterpiece golden barrel. Not really. It's not gold. It's wood. See, I just wanted to see if you were paying attention. Gold would be a shit thing to barrel things in, wouldn't it? But yeah, I would absolutely recommend. Like one of his forts, I remember, Honeystoker was incredible. Was absolutely incredible. And it continued the same world before and after. I think afterward it had a really good adventure section too. And it just kept going. And it kept going, and it was crazier and crazier and crazier and crazier. And I was like, yeah, this is fucking storytelling. Ah, boy. The outpost liaison's here. Shit. Okay. I don't want him to see the pool. He's going to be like, yes, you fucked up. And I'll be like, No, I didn't. This is the well for the sieges. That's what this is. And they're like, well, why do you have a stairwell that doesn't go anywhere? And I'm like, that's to trick the invaders. When they come in, they'll see that and they'll get lost. Shit. All right. So here's what we got to do. Oh, cool. They're coming around with camels. Okay. All right. So let's make some money. Cut gems? Hell yeah. I'll be like, do you want some rocks? Here, have this turtle shell. He's just going to stare at me, but, you know, shut up. All right, so, oh, yeah. Let's see. Quivers. There we go. I don't have bolt money yet. Okay, what do we want? I want fungi wood and tunnel tube and spore trees and goblin caps. Let's see. Seeds, plump helmets. Actually, give me all the seeds. And then cheese. Bring me the cheese. Yes, that's what I want. I never read the export part. I never do. When they're like, here's what we'll pay, I'm like, I don't care. Actually, wait a second. I mean to put that on the next layer down because I'm stupid. Well, actually, yeah. All right. God, that is really filling up. All right, hatch covers. Cover my sins. Nobody needs to see what I did. Nobody. All right. You know what? Anyone requested. Let's do some trades. Actually, horrifyingly, I can answer that question. I believe the dwarven cheese is made out of the giant purring maggots that they cultivate. You're welcome for that image. Let's see. What's he got? We're going to need more picks. That's for certain. Oh, boy. He brought a lot of armor, which, you know, all right, that's good enough. I probably got ripped off, but that's fine for now. Okay, my sins are almost concealed. Excellent. Stop making hatch covers. Start making doors. We're going to need more doors for our dwarves. He's making wooden barrels to handle our alcohol supplies. They're picking stuff up. Let's not look at that. That will just make me sad. Okay. So we did some trade. I mean, not great, but certainly something. And no, I really don't watch the World Cup. Then again, I really don't watch sports ball, which is nuts because I work with a lot of people who are obsessed with sports ball. And they're like, did you see that guy throw hand egg? And I'm like, nope. They're like, guy kicked the round thing into the square thing. And I'm like, good. You know, I'm not... Enjoy what you like. It's just... Nah. Some people love themselves some World Cup soccer or football, depending on what part of the globe you're from. But no. I used to like watching rugby. Rugby's pretty interesting. It's like if football grew a pair. It's just like, hey, this is like hockey without pads on. I used to like watching hockey too because, God, did they take that shit seriously. But I kind of watch for the personalities and the fights more than anything. That was some good shit. Oh, look at Doggo. Look at him. He looks so sad. He's 1 year old. Okay, let's look at his thoughts. He was content being near a waterfall. Personality. He has a questionable spatial sense, a poor kinesthetic sense, and little natural inclination toward music. I understand. You're a dog. If it had said, you know, plays bass guitar, I'd be a little worried. I'd be like, you know, so... So we've got all this going. We've got the beds. We've got the doors. We're getting our alcohol supplies up, so that's good. I'm going to tell them to stop doing that. We're going to stockpile some food the best we can. We've done some basic trades. As far as knocking the cobwebs off, I think that I recovered nicely from my oopsie doodle. Little bit. Not a lot. We do have this layer, which is just slowly drying out now. And it's making filth down here. So all's good. All's good. This guy's just sitting here thinking about the water. I'm just going to go ahead and tell him to bolt those down, you know, just go ahead and close that off so nobody gets an idea of going in there. Just don't. Let the water be. Let the water be. You know, it's just, Looks like we're still getting a persistent slow drip of water, which is unfortunate. I may need to knock these walls out and fix this area, but we'll see. I just wanted to stream DORF ORTRESS to stream something. However, I was thinking maybe next week of starting a playthrough, if you guys wouldn't mind, of something like Menace. I really enjoy that game. I've been playing that privately on my own. And Menace is quite good. It scratches the XCOM itch in a very interesting way. It feels a lot more XCOM than NewCom is. So I kind of dig that. There's Doggo. And we've got yeah, I mean, we've got just a bit of a mild problem with this, but we'll deal with that slowly. And Menace is excellent. I really do enjoy it. I was just wondering, like, oh, do I do a Let's Play on it? Do I record it all? But we're so busy with other film stuff that I was like, ugh, I would delay what I was intending to do. But for a stream, what's interesting in Menace is you can name the squatties and they die real quick. So it'd be a great way of you guys to redeem your names and then me to spin them poorly. Or pretend it's Gallipoli. You know, I'll have it be a fun time. Fun TM. So the fort is having a little bit of water problems, but that happens with aquifers. I know a lot of people that literally don't play with aquifers. They just refuse. They're like, it disrupts my fortress. And I'm like, well, you need a challenge. Not that there's a lack of challenges in this game. There are plenty challenges. But yes, don't redeem your names yet. Oh boy, you guys are already redeeming your names. I haven't started playing Menace yet. Little premature. However, I could put you into DORF ORTRESS. Who was the first person? Boy, I'm really out of practice on all this, but it'll be fine. It'll be fine. All right, let's see. Residence. All right, Grimos was first. Grimos the miner. Excellent. See? Simple. All right, who was next? Let's go ahead and hurt people. This guy is stuck on the other side. Oh, well, he'll be fine. He will be okay. So there's, oh yeah. Titus Urbanicus. Wait, are these people still trapped over here? Oh my God, they are. One second, let me, boy. These guys are dumb. I'm just going to build a really quick ghetto little bridge here. That ought to help them get untrapped. All right. 7 blue 7 is in. All right. Done. Don't get attached to these guys. People die a lot. Well, dwarves die a lot. It's, you know, it is what it is. There we go. And let's see, what's next? It's Little Willie. All right, that should be it for now. Good times. I wonder if this water is going to keep seeping out. And don't worry. I mean, the dwarves will face the fate they deserve slowly. Well, in my hand, probably quickly, but you know what I mean. So, starting to get there. Nobody's too terribly pissed off yet, which is fine. There's plenty of industry. There's plenty of alcohol. Good enough. I mean, our drink supplies are decent. What I need to do is get these sons of bitches. Actually, that's a good question. Are they trapped over here? Did they swim over? I don't trust that river. I'm going to just build the thing anyways. Uh-oh, more migrants. Okay. Please don't be 50. Please don't be 50. Please. Please don't be 50. Please. Please. I'm begging. Please. Please, game. Be gentle to me. It's been a while. Please, game. So far, where are they? Still seeing the same 11. What side of the map did they come in on? They come from higher up? Huh. Oh, here they start coming. Okay. This is going to be all right. Maybe. And yes, we're going to continue doing Xenonauts on Friday because VB has finally unlocked the elephant gun and a few other things that will hasten accidents, politely said. Okay, looks like just a few. And yeah, this appears to be absolutely spilling over. Whoops. All right. I have an idea on dealing with that. It's going to be kind of bad, but it'll be fine. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of jank and weirdness, but Xenonauts is fantastic. I know a lot of people don't like Xenonauts. I've found that the people who generally don't like Xenonauts, though, are people who really love Newcom. And to be honest, they really don't love Newcom. What they love is the mods for it, the mod scene for it, all the mod support for it. And it's pretty good. But yeah, we got plenty of alcohol. So far, so good, aside from this disaster here, but one step at a time. I'll just wall this off and leave it be. You know, it wouldn't be a dwarven construction unless you dug too greedily and too deep at the same time. So what we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and put that little wall there, and we're just going to cask of Amontillado this right in here and just leave it be. Just leave it be. Just leave it be. Leave it be. And I agree. Newcom, it feels, well, what was interesting is when Newcom came out, there were a lot of people who said, this doesn't seem realistic, mathematically speaking, because I reloaded the same thing and the same thing kept happening. And so there was some mathematician on Reddit who said, actually, that's how statistics work, and gave this huge long spiel about why the person's complaint was wrong. Then somebody dug into the game and found out there's seeds. And the seeds kind of determine what's going to happen. And, well, then people just stopped talking about it. But yeah, the guy who was complaining was right. It's very much training wheels, and it has a weird ebb and flow to it. And what's weird is if you go back and look at them making the new com, you will find that they were talking about, well, why did the original XCOM work? And what they did was they recreated the original XCOM in a new engine. And then they changed everything to be what it was. And I was like, why didn't you just stop at that step? Just remake the XCOM in the new engine. Maybe add multiplayer for your friends. Why? Why would you do that? But that's what they did. Bold choices. All right, so I've got some peasants. Ew. Usually when I get a larger fortress and I get like 20 peasants, I just go, oh, cool, the military's time to grow. And they're like, no, no, no. And I'm like, yes. So I'm going to change this up, and we're going to do, we're going to need more beds. But we don't have the stone for it. Kalenite, huh? Oh, clay. We'll get there. So, we're just going to let this sort itself out. We're going to just, don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. That room, nah, that was a root cellar. We found some black mold. We just, don't worry about that. So, we are still getting a bit of a seep through here, and it's slowly dripping down here. I'm just gonna let that be. We're just gonna ignore all of this forever, and that's it. We're just gonna ignore it. And down here can be our emergency well where we throw elves. You know, yeah, we'll be fine. And you're right, we don't have the stones for this. We sure don't. All right, so I need to start building some dwarven apartments before these people all decide collectively to have an armed revolt. But I'm going to create this little office here for the guy who's going to do a lot of the stupid. He's going to be my guy. You're going to be like, what do you mean, the stupid? And I'll be like, he's going to count things. That's his whole job. His whole job is going to be counting things. All right, so this is going to be the Craftsdorf shop, even though it's been kind of fucked up. And, yeah, he'll be fine. Maybe. I'm going to make sure that he has stone and wood there, though. And then they'll take the finished goods upstairs when they're done. So, good. We're getting there. Let's see. So far, so good. All right, this is going to be our office for the sad man, and we're going to make fun of him the whole time. So, what we need next is we're going to need a table, naturally, and we're going to need a chair, which when they're made out of rock is called a throne in the game. And that two words for the same thing really drive me nuts. And I get you on that, Mac Daddy. I do. I would recommend you try Xenonauts. And if you need to know what mods and how to set it up, just send me a DM. I want people to enjoy Xenonauts because it's bad shit. It's ruthless in a way that is good. It's slightly sadomasochistic, is what I'm saying. It's like an unfiltered cigarette. Or you can just watch us play it on Fridays, which is stupid, but in the good way. We're just going to leave this around. Now, here's another thing in Dwarf Fortress. If you got water splashing down, you'll end up getting mud. If it goes over stone, you can cultivate that. You can plant on that. So if you have a fortress where you're like, I don't have any dirt. I'm in a rocky mountain and there's no dirt. Fuck, what do I do? Don't worry about it. You can make dirt. You can make your own farm. You can just kind of deal with it that way, which is kind of neat. So this is going to be where our appraiser and everything else lives, but we need to make some dwarven apartments. So this is going to be a nightmare because we're going back into an aquifer layer. Wait a second. No aquifer. So here's an aquifer, here's not. This is what I was talking about. Oh boy. All right, so let's do some dwarven apartments. This will not be symmetrical. For people who need symmetry for that OCD in their brain to be happy, just look away. Don't start counting tiles. Just don't. Please don't do this. And yes, I am digging greedily. It's what you do as a dwarf. If you don't dig greedily, I mean, what's the point, right? Okay, you know what? Maybe don't go down this way. That'll be where we put some coffins. I mean, hero storage. And, yeah. So you can make dwarven rooms really, really tiny. And Pablo does this. It's horrifying. It starts to look brutalist. You're like, but Pablo, why? They're living creatures. And he's like, I don't want them to get dependent on finery. So they're like crawling over their clothing and everything else, just trying to get into their bed. And you feel awful for the dwarves. You actually do. I do. Because I'm like, I wouldn't want to live like that. And Pablo laughs at me and he says I'm soft. Then again, I've also had to live in places like that before where there's no room for anything and you're just sardined in. So maybe it's just traumatizing, you know? But I'm just going to do some nice little rooms for these guys. Then again, I'm not sure if you've seen this online anywhere, but I find it fascinating. I was watching on YouTube, and they were having an interview with some lady who was in Hong Kong, and she was showing how they use space in Hong Kong. And holy fuck, there's some really clever stuff in there. And I would say Pablo is indeed the crying inside Woodjack. He does not like the way I play Dwarf Fortress. And I'm like, good. It's my game. I can be wrong if I want. I don't have to be right. But he's really good at the game. I'm not taking that away from him. If you're in the Ox and you want to learn Dwarf Fortress, hit up Pablo Ichiban in the Ox. He's in the BPL. He'll tell you what you need to know. He will also criticize you heavily for all the choices you make or whatever you're thinking. This is how he shows he cares. All right, so I seem to have stemmed the water on this level. There is a little bit of mud, but it should be mostly okay. As this over here mocks me, I'm going to try not to look at that. Oh, Pablo gets really upset. He does. He's like, hey, what are you doing? And I'm like, playing the game? And he's like, no. Why did you do it that way? It's wrong. I'm like, yeah, it is. I'm not going to defend my decisions. I mean, look, I accidentally filled that with water because I got distracted and stupid. But hey, this looks like it's starting to make some nice mud. There is water still seeping in there. Huh. But yeah, next time around, I might do some menace for you guys, if that's fine. Would you guys like to see some menace? I hope that's at least interesting. I'd also thought about maybe getting back into RimWorld just for streaming, but we already have Cooking on the Rim, and I don't want to steal someone else's thunder. But Menace is quite hilarious. And I will use lots and lots of firepower. Now, I've got a really good single-player save in Menace, but I know as soon as I stream Menace, I'm going to die. I'm going to die a lot. And that's fine, because it will be your guys' names that get destroyed. So, you guys are signing up for a bad time. All right, let's go ahead and put a door here so we can have this little office for the the accountant. Be like, haha, nerd, you like counting. This is going to be a sad little office. Our booze supply is doing pretty good. Let's see. What should we make? Make more rock beds. He's making bins, so we should be able to store stuff. Good. We've got a lot of booze barrels. So we should be able to taper off the bins for now, because I think we have more than enough. I'm going to get us some buckets, because I always run out. I know you can tell the dwarves to bail water, but typically I also have them fall in, so, not great. I'm also going to make some wheelbarrows for them to move stuff around, and oh, cool. There is a dead rhino lizard just stuck in there. Good. Excellent. Just what I want to see. Dwarf. And no, my fuck-ups on this playthrough are entirely my fault. I am a dum-dum when it comes to this. I really don't like the accountants in Dwarf Fortress because they're always like, you have low blah, blah, blah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a wood furnace next to his office so he can suck the fumes. I'll be like, hey, how many things do we have today? And he's like, and I'm like, that's not a number. Oh, cool. I could put a clay kiln in here. Oh man, he's gonna have so many fun things going on. He's gonna be like, why? Why have you done this? I'll be like, well, I wasn't thinking. Said the guy who was thinking about doing it. Yeah, it'll be good for him. Not really, but yeah, take that, Poindexter. All right, let's see. Make charcoal. Collect clay. Good stuff. And hey, Diggs, so far so good. I mean, not bad for middle of the week. And we're getting there going. Yeah, that was great. I had the dragon. I was streaming in the BPL, had a dragon come in, and it was burning all the dwarves to death. It was like a blowtorch on flies. I mean, the dwarves did not stand a chance. And then there was so much smoke inside the fortress from everything cooking off that the dragon started to asphyxiate on smoke inhalation. He was like, he got emphysema. You know, it's that gift that keeps on giving. All right, we're working on that floor thing. And yes, there is a digs mod for DORF ORTRESS. I had forgotten to turn that one on. I'm a dummy. All right. Yep, he's making charcoal. Oh, that's the one table, so people are coming in there eating. All right, let's see. Office. Yeah. All right, so then, yeah. Broker, you. Bookkeeper, Grimos. No. Lokendrade. There. What's he need? He's like, I don't have a chair. You have a study. Don't complain. There. And ta-da. Start counting, you son of a bitch. There we go. All right, so now we have actual numbers, not some many lots. Okay, so far so goodish. That's kind of the problem with DORF ORTRESS. You find a hurdle, you jump the hurdle. Now what do you do after that, right? You're like, aha! Oh, everything froze over. That's good. Did we build that? Oh, cool. Yeah, the little brook has completely dried up. It's probably in my basement now that I think about it. But yeah, we have a nice little footpath that goes over it. So not so bad. Okay, they are making more wheelbarrows than I know what to do with. Stop doing that. Just more barrels in general. There we go. Okay, stop making rock beds. Start making doors again. And before long, we're going to need some coffins. Telling him to make charcoal. All right, let's see. Ooh, you know what? Let's make some clay hives so we can have bees. Don't worry about bees. Bees are your friend in DORF ORTRESS. They help you do things. So we got a lot of doors, which is fine. I'm going to go ahead and put these all over and hopefully start getting some dwarven apartments. Though some of this is flooding and I don't care. Be like, hey, you requested a wet room? They're like, wait, what? And then here's your house. Just let them in. Yeah, that accountant is dying. I mean, there would just be a pall of smoke in here because you have a kiln and a charcoal smoker going at the same time. Shit, I made a porcelain hive? Man, that's kind of baller. Hell yeah. Yeah. But we made it. He's like, we don't have it. And I'm like, yes, we do. Now start. Damn it. All right. So far, so okay is kind of where we are. All right, let's check on our gym situation. He's like, you can make things out of bones. If you show up to something on the side of the road and they're trying to sell you bone crafts, be wary. You might be in their display before too long. Oh, you're right. You're right. It's a matter of perspective. They're not flooded rooms. That's beachfront property. Hell yeah. All right, so let's go ahead and put some rooms in here. Okay. It'll be fine. Don't worry about it. Yeah, therapy pools. Come on, guys. We got to brand this. Help me brand it. Help me spin this. That's kind of the trick, isn't it? We just got to brand it. See, they got beds. Most of them are still not pissed. Some are very happy. For God knows what reason. Seems like water is coming out of this area, even though everything's sealed off, so it may be coming down from the ceiling, which is annoying. Water fort. All right, boys, keep going. So far, adequate. It's just, oh, they're happy because the other dwarves are unhappy? Now that's an interesting equation. So they're the ones that are like, ha ha, you got the wet room. Yeah, all right. I'll bite. That sounds good. We don't have much to trade, but I don't think that should stop us per se. So far, we haven't died, and I'll take that as a win. For coming back to stream after a while not dying, yes. I'm going to pave the way into my fortress with bees. Yeah, we'll have some beehives out here, and oh God, what now? Please nothing. Please nothing. Please nothing. Please not a thing. Of the things, none. Please. Please. Okay, good. All good. We're good. Everything's fine. Yeah, that is flooding over there. So, yeah, we got the mud area, the floor, naturopathic tile, right? How would you sell this? Is that correct? Is that too on the nose? All right. So, we have pretty good food supplies, which kind of scares me to say the least. We are producing like crazy. I'm going to leave this fallow like 2 months out of the year because I'm overproducing food, plant, drink, which is quite remarkable. Normally in DORF ORTRESS, that doesn't happen. Oh, he's got 2 lovers. Good for him. He's moving up in the world. How do you find the time? It's a lot of scheduling. You probably need an Excel sheet. All right. You know what? I'm going to take them off of mining exclusively just for now so they can get in there and start smoothing. Oh, boy. Oh, organic freshwater aquarium. See, that's a good one. Just keep making charcoal, boys. All right, that's enough barrels. We have more than enough everything. All right, good, good, good. We've got all this, and they're not moving that. Where are they going? Where are you? Oh, he's probably grabbing wood. We did cut most of the world down, and that's fine. Oh, it came back. I just think any fortress would inevitably be just damp. Yeah, this room keeps flooding. So we're just going to go ahead and do what I do normally, which is just, you know, construction problems, right? So let's just go ahead and do. Right there. Yeah, just going to wall off my troubles. You know, that's what therapy told me. Just bottle it up, put it deep down, seal it off. Don't let anyone in. Just wall it off. I'll let nature reclaim that area. It's like, what's behind the wood wall? Why do I hear water? Shut up. That's we pipe in organic sounds called a river. Aquifers do make this game challenging. Not needlessly, but it does add a challenge. So I'm going to just expand my little rooms here and hopefully not hit more aquifer. But I probably will because I just said hopefully I won't. All right, good enough. Oh, look, and we found some gems. Oh, onyxes. Those are actually quite nice. One of your late grandfather's axioms. Trim will cover it. Yeah, that's fair. What is, if you guys don't mind, because one of the reasons I stopped streaming during COVID solo was I was getting big numbers on YouTube. Like, as Diggs pointed out, 600, 800, sometimes 1,000. And it bothered me that I couldn't talk with people, just at people, It's like, hey, chat, what do you think? And a bunch of thumbs up. And it's like, It didn't feel genuine. And maybe I'm old-fashioned. Maybe it's the autism, feeling a little overwhelmed at that. So this feels a lot better. So thank you guys for showing up and being cool is all I wanted to say. But what is the sketchiest place you've ever lived in? Sum it up in one sentence. Like, what is the worst thing you saw in the house? My last house is up there. Load-bearing Tupperware. Those 3 words kind of sum that house up. Load-bearing Tupperware. There was a piece of Tupperware with a screw in it that was holding up 2 things. Someone had just screwed right through it. Oh yeah, we talked about it on the podcast. Load-bearing Tupperware. To be fair, it was load-bearing. Horrifying, but, it was. All right, let's dig greedily and deep, boys. Down we go. Oh, man. Oh, no water. Hot damn. We may have broken the curse, boys. That and there's some ore here I'm going to get at. Wait, toilet had 5 corners, each had a different angle? Good God. All right, that's pretty bad. You lived in a bus that was parked in the middle of a rainforest. You've got stories. I once lived in a place where there was, oh, look, there's a rooster. Just, you know, I don't care. It is what it is. But no, I had one place where there was a very persistent strong of natural gas. And I thought, oh, this is a, this house has a gas oven and someone left it on, just in time for me to rent it. Nope. They had no natural gas hookups. And I was like, well, why does it smell like gas then? Well, it turns out the neighbor had natural gas hookups and they were leaking that badly. And I was like, oh, that's not good. Then again, a friend of mine lived in an apartment in Colorado that was so sketchy that they had gas lines for natural gas tacked to the ceiling with those little clips that you use to hold like fiber optic cable. They had used those tacked to the ceiling, and it was a rubber hose that went through walls and snaked across the ceiling. I said, when this thing blows up, it's going to look like pyro at the Super Bowl. All right, let's see. We're getting some good ore here. All right. See, we're getting some DORF rooms set up. Everyone's going to have nice rooms, and we're going to ignore the water channel there. Kind of. And yes, there's some really bad things I've seen in houses. Landlords in the United States can get away with a lot. All right. You know what? I'm going to make some coffins while I'm thinking of it. I always never think I'm going to need them, and then somebody has a wee bit of a tantrum, and, then we're burying people. Yeah, look at all this. Man, I could turn this into an indoor farm if this keeps going, and I might. So far, so good. What I thought was crazy was I had a friend of mine who at one point had lived in Washington State. And he showed me the house that he had. And I shit you not, it was a trailer on a patch of land. And I was like, oh, just kind of a starter home, because I'm not shitting on anybody for living in a trailer. Hell, some of the manufactured homes they make today are fucking amazing. And he laughed, and then he showed me how much he sold it for. And I felt poor. I felt very, very poor. That trailer on that little patch of land he sold for $800,000. And I was like, oh, I'm the dummy. Never judge somebody's pad. They may be in one of those areas that are just massively overpriced. But then again, Washington State is fucking gorgeous. It's pretty. Everywhere you go is pretty. Now, Seattle, awful traffic, but also all the good food. So, I mean, it's kind of a flip there. And it was an oceanfront property. It just had a nice view of the mountains. I was like, what the fuck? You guys want to see crazy, though? Seriously, go onto Zillow and go look up, draw a 30-mile radius around Seattle. And then get back to me. You'll see what I mean. You'll just be like, oh no. I'm like, oh yeah. I had interviewed for a job, believe it or not, out there many years ago. I remember doing that same calculation, like, oh, what would it cost to live here? And I realized that if I had taken that job that I thought was good paying, I would not be able to live there for more than a year because I would be bankrupt. I was like, holy fuck. Some places, it's just like, good goddamn. And yeah, there's a lot of places, though, that while it's nice to have that whole cosmopolitan, get all the amenities, all the cool art stuff, and all the good food and shit, there is something to be said about living in simple places and visiting those places instead, because you can come back to a house that you own, or at least can afford to live in. It is kind of nice. So my dwarves are getting beds. I've still kept most of them on the happy side. I am starting to believe the theory that some of these dwarves are happy because others aren't. That actually is starting to make good sense to me now. So whoever called that out, you hands down, you did a good job. Now, if I won the lottery, and I could do anything I wanted with a house whatsoever, I've been to people's houses that look like mansions or were mansions. I've been to people's houses that were humble. And my want would be, if I won the lottery, I would go find a place that was pretty and gorgeous, that was nearby but not next to things that were pleasant. And then, and a place with 4 seasons, that's nice. Then I would go get a bunch of those cargo container homes and make Cargonia the subdivision, Those cargo container homes are kind of cool. Because everyone else is like, oh yes, my house is wood. I'm like, that's high gauge steel. You could hit that with a car, nothing would happen. Hey, you do gotta galvanize it, otherwise it'll rust, but still. Cargo container home. That's kind of what I want. Nothing complex, nothing crazy. But cargo container home. Cargonia. If you've ever seen some of those, that is wild. No migrants. Ah, yes. Excellent. And it says people are being stung by bees, which means excellent. Good. The bearium is being created. So, let's figure out what to do. You know what? I want to piss elves off. So, let's go ahead and make an oak floor. I think that'll be good. Yeah. So let the elves know what's up right off the bat. They're like, oh, is that parquet herringbone pattern? I'm like, yes. We had to destroy all those woods to make it. Now we walk on it with our dirty, muddy feet. Enjoy. I would really like to have a cargo container house because I think that if you get too much stuff, like big piles of crap, it starts to weigh you down. If you get too much shit, so every so often I do a purge of stuff because I ask myself, when's the last time I used that? When's the last time I used that? When's the last time I XYZ? And if the answer is I don't remember, it's time to get rid of it. Because otherwise it's just stuff. Also, I'm very sad you can't hear the soundtrack. We are going to have to fix that for future streams and figure out what the fuck is going on. But Thank you guys for hanging out anyways, you know? Just saying thank you. Because the soundtrack's really good. And I sound like an ass for talking about it and you can't hear it. It's just like, hey, man, you know this thing? It's fucking great. You know, like, I wish I could hear it text. And I'm like, well, too bad. All right. Ah, yes, the mud room. I'm just going to leave that there. Somebody else's problem. A little bit of mud trickling down. The fun thing you can do if you have too much shit, if you've just accrued too much crap, go find other people who have stuff you like and trade. You'd be surprised how many nerds have shit that they don't want either. And they're like, oh yeah, I'll give you this for that. Do a swap. It's wonderful. Everyone likes a swap. I knew somebody who had a giant acreage. They had a whole library of VHSs, right? They didn't want them anymore. But they found this hipster that wanted VHSs. And in exchange, they got half the hipster's vinyl collection, and they were a vinyl collector. So it kind of worked out. You just got to find somebody you can trade with. By the way, anyone who is running bets that I wouldn't make it a year, you've lost. Now who's dumb? Still me, because I've walled off parts of the fortress that shouldn't be, but we'll get to it. All right, let's go down a layer. Down we go. All right, let's keep digging. We're going to keep excavating, keep going down. All right. Looks like we have a fairly stable fortress in defiance of God and good reason. We made a lot of clay stuff, which is nice. A guy became a wood burner. He's like, I became a thing. I'm like, yeah, get back to it. All right, here we go. I'm going to just put a bunch of beehives out here. Their job is to let me know when things are nearby by stinging them. And when I hear the swearing, I will know. I will know in my bones that, well, the bees have found victims and that the enemy should mind their own business. Can't downvote a stream. I can make all sorts of bad jokes. All right, now that I got rid of a bunch of that wood, let's see. Chestnut, sure, sounds good. But what about the elves? I don't care. How can I do what to whom? Poor jokes? Please. I make whole videos filled with them. Capellans, for instance. All right, let's see. We're going to keep going on down. But yes, next week I intend to bring you Menace. So what I'm going to do is try to remind you guys. Next week I'm going to be trying to stream every Wednesday, trying to get back into that whole thing. Tell your friends, tell your fat pals, tell your enemies. Have them driven before you as you enact your... But yeah, go ahead and spread the word. I'll try to make a regular thing of this. We'll keep it cozy. And just keep going from there. I also may restream on YouTube, but Maybe, maybe not. Haven't decided yet. I need to get back into the groove, as it were. You know what I mean? So far, though, this fortress is surviving way better than I thought, but I am feeling very doggedly, oh God, what? Oh, a human caravan, huh? Okay. Hope they don't get struck by bees and start wanting to kill us. Oh, if that's what kills us. All right, that's not worth shit. Do you want some hatch covers? How about some coffins? No? All right, let's get into the bins. Weapon bins. Boy. Let's see. Yeah, most of this shit is empty of crap. We got coal. We got... Oh. Finished goods and gem bin. Those will sell. And the cloth bin. Excellent. Good, 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 good. All fine. Oh. Sunshine Temple asking the real question. Is that a caravan owned by humans, a caravan selling humans, or made out of human? Looks like normal humans for now, but they could be elves in disguise. Oh. I wish the cheeses. That is what I wish to trade for, humans. Humans. I wish the cheeses. All right, let's see. Nope, you're not getting those picks, but you can have those porcelain hives. Am I right? You could start your own bee business. And they just stare at me. I'm like, you know those things that attacked you on the way in? You could have your own. They're just staring at me like, we know what bees are. And I'm like, oh. Okay. Sorry. Sorry about the bees. Anyways, give me money. Let's see. Mittens, bags. I already have cloth, but I will take that bin of cloth just in case somebody wants to make a hat or, I don't know. It's got a lot of prepared meat. Let's go ahead and take that. I want to send these guys with a lot more. Oh, yeah. See, you take the plants and you turn them into alcohol. Imagine the dwarves cheerfully experimenting with that, you know? They're sitting there like, could we alcohol this? And it's like onions. They're like, I don't know. Oh, the cheeses. Give to me the cheese. Okay, not the cheese. There. All right, move goods to and from. Actually, wait, that is a good point. Bins. Let's not trade our good shit, shall we? Good enough. So we did a good trade with them. They should be happy. You know, all right, so fun fact. I had a friend of mine who had a juicer. He was big into that whole, you know, juice all the vegetables, drink lots of juice thing. He'd quit smoking, started jogging, you know, and he said, bring some juiceables, like things to juice. And he was going to show me the joys of juicing. So I, being weird, didn't know what the fuck he was talking about. So I brought like a bunch of vegetables to include green onions. And I found out that if you juice a bunch of green onions, not only will it kill the juicer, but it will make a oil, an oily like onion oil. And if you drink it, you will simultaneously have the worst acid reflux of your life, but you will need to staple your sheets down when you go to bed. It was bad farts. That being said, don't do that. These are just text facts. Please don't clip that. All right, time to make some alcohol. Let's see. Prepare an easy meal. We're going to do that there. It's really not good. Onion juice, well, I called it onion oil, like oil of onion. If it was going to have any sort of name, that way it sounds more exotic. You're like, oh, get the oil of onion. It's like something you add to a cocktail or something with an eyedropper. But God, the bees just keep stinging people, and I think that's hilarious because they're just doing their own thing there. But yeah, I would say this. Onions smell, very oniony. That, but with a consistency of like grease. It was a bad time. Oh, look, no aquifer. Hell yeah. So we finally made it through. We had a few oopsie doodles. No migrants this season. People have heard of our oopses, and that's fine. I'm going to just start engraving all these floors where there's beds. So they're just walking around and blown away by the arts and crafts and dick butts and all the other memes that people would carve, So, I think it'd be fine. Oh. Let's see. So we got about 9 minutes left in the stream. I'm going to be trying to stream around this time, like 2 hours at a time. And next time around, we'll play Menace. I'll start a fresh save, and we'll see how bad I can be live. And we'll just try to work through things. I'll probably answer some questions where people will talk about, oh, what gun is that? And I'll be like, well, that's a G3, because it's always the right choice. And you guys are more than welcome. So what we got is we're doing, so far this fortress ain't bad. Aside from the obvious massive flaws, the flooded basement, the pool, the mud, because look at this. Up here at the top, very much happy dwarves. Like, what the fuck? How did I do that and run a stream at the same time? Usually by this time in the fortress, I have one of them that is so fucking mad that all he can think about is who he's going to kill if someone sneezes in his direction. Like, just waiting, boiling with rage, clenching their fist. I'm waiting for that dwarvish falling down moment, if you've ever seen that film. And if you don't understand that film, you've never worked that kind of job. I think everyone has had one of those days just waiting in traffic. You're like, go ahead, honk your horn. Keep doing it. Uh-oh. Oh, yeah, the merchants are leaving. Hopefully they don't come back with an army, but, whatever. All right, let's keep going. I've got 18 dwarves, and I don't know how. Why? And we actually have some battle tech that's been edited. I'm starting a playthrough on the main channel where I'm going to try to do each of the great houses, a whole campaign of it. And that'll promise to probably be 50, 60 episodes per campaign. The problem is that it takes time. And unfortunately, I am very, very busy. As I'm sure most of you are as well. So be patient. I promise it will be done. Battletech Advanced is drugs for me. if I had a bajillion dollars and could buy the IP rights, I would just say, make me BattleTech 2018 and the Unreal Engine with modding support. That's it. That would be like one of my first steps of business. That and the cargo container subdivision. Oh boy. You know, so far so good. I keep saying that because not that I'm trying to tempt fate, but why? Why is this going so well? What have I done right? Aside from that, and that, and that, and that, and that, and yeah, okay. So there were some mistakes made. Numerous mistakes. Oh, cool. Guy carved a DORF. Guy carved a DORF. 2 millstones. Trees. Oh. Image of a tetrahedral tetrahedra. Okay. All right. Okay. Lokendrade has drawn himself. No, sorry. 7 Blue 7 drew Lokendrade surrounded by snails and terrified. Okay. Grimos carved something. Dwarves laboring. That's reasonable. Dwarves laboring. Elf and a dwarf. The elf is burning. The dwarf is laughing. Hell yeah. Can I get a hell yeah? Maybe. If I'm good. Hell yeah. Okay, not so bad. Hell yeah. All right, boys and girls, and AI masquerading as both, trying to subvert our normal discourse. I'm going to say this much. Right now, I'm going to call it because I intended to stream for 2 hours, and we're at 2 hours and 4 minutes, which is coming up on the end of the hour. Thank you for supporting WBPL 76. Thank you for tuning in, and next week, Menace, this same time. Yes, I know I wanted to stream for 2:04 just to get that old meme in. Thank you for noticing. Thank you. That was my intent. But I will be back next week. Please check us out. Please be on the lookout. And madness will follow. This I promise. Thank you guys. This was fun. Next time, more stupid. Now go get some dinner or something. You earned it. You can have the whole corn dog. I won't tell nobody.